Not just that as well, George. When you speak about Salah as well, I fully agree. Obviously, we've shifted the way our patterns of attack are now more over to the left. But in the Arsenal game, especially in the second half, Salah had plenty of times where he could have done something. He just was having a bad game. So I don't think that can be blamed on the tactics. I just think he's had a bad start to the season from a personal standpoint, as opposed to the tactics are hindering his play at the moment. So once he gets his form back and we're doing what we're doing, and Isak's integrated as well, Wirtz gets more comfortable, it's going to be a madness for a few teams.
Can we apply that to Arsenal?
Go on, Hooks. Go on.
Can we apply that to Arsenal then? Because I don't think we provide that same balance to Arsenal. Like we can't.
But you know why we can't?
Yeah, but we don't. Yeah, but we don't go. When Gyökeres warms up into the league, when Eze finally gets embedded.
The difference is our gaffer though.
Yeah, that's what it goes.
I hear that. Hey,
everybody knows it's down to the tactics. You've got the ingredients. The man has to cook.
I was very critical of Arteta after that game against Liverpool. Yeah, but I'm just saying it seems like even like for
Liverpool, that's the 3 games this season and last.
We're giving these man too much. Like, yeah, but we're not giving it to anyone else.
Look, I'm gonna ask you one question. I'm not even trying to take the mick here. Do you trust Arteta to get the best out of Gyökeres?
No.
So there it is then, bro.
And then that's it, yeah.
I trust Gyökeres to do what Gyökeres does with his instinct as a striker that I
He can only do so
How
much.
far is that taking you over 38 games?
You're not allowed to have instincts at Arsenal. He's already thrown Eze under the bus.
And also, what do you expect him to do when he plays the games like he did previously in the Man United game, in the
They called Eze out for the Leeds one.
We don't create enough for play. How much instinct can you do?
By the way,
so many goals like the Leeds one, the man's gonna bag.
Yeah, but the thing is,
we need Gyökeres scoring tap-ins realistically, and we don't fashion them chances. So instinct can't get you over the line over 38 games, let alone 50 plus in all comps. It sounds good, it makes sense, but when you break it down, Hooks, it's not going to wash for us.
The thing
is, against Liverpool.
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, like well, at least the reason why I think Gyökeres was signed for Arsenal is because he bullies the smaller teams, and that's where we have historic. We haven't lost the league at the bigger teams. Like, we're calm with the bigger team.
Yeah, but what's our problem against the smaller teams, though, Hooks?
Not being able to score. Pretty much.
No, deeper than that. What is our purpose? What is our problem against the smaller teams?
Breaking down the low block.
It's breaking down low block.
Everyone knows it.
But even in
how are you going to create chances for Gyökeres if you can't break down the low block? I don't get it, bro. You're not making sense.
Even in those games where we've struggled to break down low blocks, we've still had chances where if we had someone that was clinical and could finish, we would have scored. So it's not like we go up against these low blocks.
West Ham at home last season.
We have no chances.
It's not like football's a numbers game. I'm probably sure we're going to see Isak, Haaland, I hope Gyökeres. They're all going to be up there for goals, but they're all going to be up there for big chances missed, right? We can't guarantee Gyökeres is going to be there. It's a numbers game. We can't rely on 2 clear-cut chances every week. Of course, a couple times we'll get away with it. But come on, man. It's more of a case of Arteta's got the ingredients, start cooking. Because as much as we're excited about Gyökeres, what Zubimendi could do in the hub, what Eze could be, I guess Madueke throughout a season, we haven't got enough. We're used to be known as one of the best attacking sides in the league. Now, fair enough, defensively, we do our thing. But we need a bit of spark. We need a bit of invention, which goes back to the Liverpool game. Obviously, in the first half, I think we could have went into halftime kind of bullish. Second half, Slot changed things. And beyond everything Slot did, you have to sit there and wonder, how much confidence does Slot have knowing I'm going to change things and Arteta isn't? We need to have different ways of playing. Like, it's a 38-game calendar, man. Like, the way we're going, we're not going to do what needs to be done.
Hooks, we've talked about it so many times. Look, the bottom line, the conversation with Arsenal isn't is Gyökeres going to cook or not. It's Arteta. There's no other conversation to be had. The thing is, Gyökeres is a great player, but he's not an Henry. He's not a Hazard. He can't create a goal out of nothing. He can't pick it up.
He did against Leeds.
He did against Leeds, but come on, that's 3 games.
But that's not the norm, is it? That's the exception.
What did he
He's
get
not going to be an Henry who can just
break
break down a whole lot of block.
It's too early to know.
You don't play Leeds every week, bro.
Yeah, and also that wasn't the first goal.
Creative issues in the Leeds game. We won 5-0, but
that Leeds game proves the point that I'm making, where he was signed for the smaller teams. to
Yeah,
bully
but your
the
point's
quality.
not for debate.
That wasn't the
It's
first
how
goal.
many times across
what I mean?
38 games is he going to do
There's
that?
only three. So if you're
I'm
talking about
right
small
here,
teams, what
lads.
teams are
I'm
you
right here,
referencing?
man. There's no
Oh,
noise.
wait, Hooks. Hooks, just to understand, what teams are you referencing? Because I bet you're just going to name the 3 teams that come up and no one outside.
No. Like so.
Everyone in the bottom half,
The
essentially.
West Ham, the Evertons, the Brentfords,
Everton, who have one of the best defenses in the
like,
league, sure.
yeah, but that's all well and good. But my issue is, I understand. I've said it before. I understand we struggle to break down low blocks, but even in the games where we struggle to break down low blocks, we still have. There's loads of times where man are like, oh, why couldn't Havertz have just scored that? We now have a guy where if he gets that chance, he will more often than not score that.
But
Yeah,
he
you're
still will
right, but he's
miss.
human, and the
You know
one
what I
time
mean?
he does it,
And then on top of all of that, yeah, cool. I hear it. Yeah, man, already know my faith's gone in Arteta, but even as bad as Arteta was last season, he still managed to keep us competitive. So clearly, competing is not our problem. Our problem is getting over the line.
Yeah,
We
So-
know that. You're not
Whether
saying
you-
And
anything
look,
new.
you keep
So
saying
whether
the big
you-
level team,
yeah,
the lower
But
teams.
now we
not
get
good.
into, but now it's subjectivity. Now it's subjectivity because nobody's right. Because you don't actually know if at some point throughout the season everything's going to gel to a point.
we
where-
hope so. It's only
Cool.
3
We're
games
fine,
in.
we're
We're only,
fine.
if we're seeing this 10, 11, 12 games into the season, we have issues. But what we can do is go off the 3 games we've seen so far, every game in pre-season, bar Bilbao, and obviously last season. And again, I'm not expecting everything to be amazing, but you're hoping for a little inkling, just something different. And, you know, obviously we lost to Liverpool. I don't want to be a hypocrite. If it's 0-0 and he went gun-ho and we lost 1-0, we'd have something to say. But I think every Arsenal fan is at that point now where if it did go left, we would have sat there and said, you know what, it didn't work at Anfield. It might work elsewhere. We know Mikel Arteta can plan, think about the opposition. It's a difficult game for rivals to play us because of the mid and low blocks and what we do. But Mikel Arteta doesn't change enough things in game. This is why I'm saying it's one thing. If you're relying on Gyökeres to do what he did against Leeds for 38 games, it's a madness. We all know playing up front in this current day, you're almost a sacrificial lamb, especially in the Mikel Arteta system. You got to pull out wide, you got to drop deep. The wide men get like the benefits. We can't just do that. This is why we need to see a million chances. Hooks, you're old enough to remember. We used to create a million chances. If we was creating a million chances, like you referenced Kai Havertz, you know, the last 2 times we went out the FA Cup, them kind of games I could hear that. But we're watching this week in, week out, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
And the thing is, and DG's right, because you can roll this back to last season, and then I'd ask the question, what have we seen? Okay, it's a small sample size in 3 games, but can you sit there and say the style has changed in the 3 games compared to last
But you
season?
know the thing is, but you know what the
If
thing
anything,
is,
against United when we was a bit more direct, but that's clutching.
I hear the concerns, but again, I'll say, if people think that our front line going forward in the majority of games this season is going to be Gyökeres, Madueke, and Martinelli, cool, I hear it. But I'm expecting our front line to be Eze, Saka, and Gyökeres. Now, Saka being one of the highest volume creators and Eze being a creator as well, it's only going to facilitate Gyökeres more. Like Gyökeres has looked a bit in game because he hasn't had creative.
But it
like,
still has to come from the tactics, though.
yes, I know this, but
Hooks,
Arteta isn't going to set up
creative on the Saka creativity. I'm not taking a mick when I ask this question. Is Saka actually that creative though?
For us, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's not what I'd have down as a creative player.
I don't think that's the question, Cal. I think the question is, has Saka come back from his injury the same player?
No, we know he hasn't yet. But I don't. Again, I'm not even trying to. Again, I want to make it very clear. We're having a serious conversation. I'm not taking a mick here. But when we're speaking about Saka as a creator, we're speaking about him create like his assist and stuff. A lot of those come from corners, if I'm not mistaken, or set pieces.
No,
therefore I asked.
Yeah, he actually had more. He actually assisted more from open play last season than from corners.
Okay, but I'm asking, is he that guy who's going to be a creator on a regular basis for like?
He's definitely going to be more of a creator than Madueke.
Oh yeah, right. But that's not very hard.
To be honest, we just want Saka scoring.
I don't even think that's necessarily. Madueke is a creator. As much as people don't like it, he's very much. He's very direct.
I think Eze's a creator, but I don't know if Eze is a creator from the left in an Arteta system.
Let's just be real, right? Let's just
Who is the creator in Arteta system?
How many attackers has this guy actually got the best out of? Let's just be brutally honest. There's only Saka, right? And this is my biggest problem.
To be fair,
I think he did well with Aubameyang. If we're going to be fair, Dan, he did do well with
okay,
Aubameyang.
and that's a great shout, Cal. And I'll tell you why I'll come back straight on that is he's the one he did get the best out of. He chucked out, so he's got Saka, and then he's chucked the other lot out, or they ain't been good enough, or there's loads. So there's definitely an issue with the manager when it comes to attacking. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka score 15 goals apiece in 22-23. Then this guy has not had enough therapy, so he's still got his PTSD and fearing. How can you tell me that you go to Anfield with 3 defensive midfielders in Marino, Rice, and Zubimendi, and then go out and try and win a game? And then what you do is you leave all your creativity on the bench and bring it on at 70 minutes. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't look at Liverpool and go, "Whoa, I ain't beating them."
15-year-old on with 10 minutes to go when you're thrown in the towel.
Well, yeah, it wasn't even 10 minutes, DG. It was like 5 he gave him.
Exactly, and we saw that numerous times with Wanyeri last year, bar the starts he made. This is what I mean about the Liverpool game, is the same old issues.
Would he have gone with that had Odegaard not picked up a knock against Leeds?
No, because he's got Eze and Wanyeri to use.
Yeah, but Wanyeri, young lad, big game. Eze just come in, won couple of training sessions.
That's
So
an
he-
excuse.
Whenever had a pre-season though, so how much does that apply though with Eze?
And he played against Liverpool in the cat.
I know, but it's throwing him into a system where you're going to Anfield and he
But
wants
that's
to make
Arteta's
sure.
problem. It's too
If
system
he's
focused now.
comfortable
Joe,
enough
you're
to
just
play
Joe
him-
Gal, aren't you, Joe, when it comes to Arteta?
No, I just think there's no. I'm a bit like with Hooks. I think if
Joe loves Arteta. That's what it is.
no,
Just say
no,
it.
That
it's
is,
not
he's,
that.
Joe
Hear me
Gal,
though,
isn't it?
right?
I've got time
My
for the gaffer,
point
but
is,
he's
if
creating
that's
his own
any
issues.
side- If that's any other side that get undone by a worldly free kick from Dominic Szoboszlai, there isn't all this outrage. It's because it's
Yeah, but that's
Arsenal.
what
it's
comes with
because it's
Arsenal, though.
That's
But
the point.
I think you lot are missing what Hooks is trying to say. Hooks is trying to say that they can win the league despite Arteta. He's saying the players may be the ones who can get this over the line. Now, I don't agree with that because I think you need the tactics. But I think that's where you're coming from, Hooks. I think that's where you're coming from.
On that, so you see Eze when he came on the pitch, yeah, and immediately you just start seeing individual. That's not part of Arteta's. You ain't ever seen anyone on the left do that.
Yeah,
with
but
him.
how
Then
often
he
is
had
that,
to
though?
go at him for missing it.
Exactly. So is he going to be allowed to do that?
That's like when Rice took the free kicks and went for the goal against Real Madrid.
Yeah,
That's all
exactly.
great. But when we buck into PSG, where you need tactics now,
Yeah.
my point being,
It's long
a couple
throws.
of games that runs. We're talking about 38 games. We need the best from these players. We need the gaffer. We might even need Mikel Arteta to actually just put the handbrake down and free them purely in the final third. I'm so cool with Mikel Arteta and what he does defensively and the overthinking. But unfortunately, individuals will always make the game. And everybody has clocked, rightly or wrongly, how we play because we've played like this. It's got us to this point. If we keep doing the same things and showing the same version of ourselves, Hooks, we're not getting over the line. We need to start.
I just think that just like we in general as like people that watch football, I just think we overanalyze Arsenal more so than any other team because no other team gets this sort of analysis.
Not true.
That's not
No other team gets this sort of over-analysis.
It's not true. Our analysis is
Like,
simple.
it really-
Arteta is
Like,
shit.
that, man.
That's
Okay.
our analysis.
Like, I just feel like whenever Arsenal, because the thing is, yeah, cool. If you remove the fact that it's Arsenal and you go, cool, the team's gone to Anfield and that team hasn't set up in a way that looks like they really want to attack at Anfield, and then they've left Anfield losing 1-0 to a worldy free kick. And if that free kick didn't happen, it's probably a 0-0 draw. I don't think anyone's really chopping up the analysis in this way that they do with Arsenal, but it's because it's Arsenal.
Yeah, but Hooks,
It's not.
Do you know who started this? Paul Scholes, man. And ever since, I swear to God, it was. He sat in that thing and went, "Oh, they celebrated like they won. You know, you've got to win there." And then everyone clocked onto that. And every time now it's like, "Nah, you've got to go win there."
Yeah, the
He was
narrative.
right though.
He was
No,
kind of
they're
right,
not,
though,
though,
Joe.
because I'll tell you for why, right? In my opinion, who were the last team to win at Anfield? I believe it was Forest. Before that, it was Leeds United. Like, it's not, that doesn't define Arsenal's season, but because Paul Scholes said it on the overlap, that means, oh
No,
man,
because
that's
they
it.
beat
Well, I
us.
haven't
They
seen.
beat us at
It's
Emirates.
not about
They beat us
defining
at
The
his
issue
Emirates.
with the
That was
Liverpool
when
game
Odegaard-
is Mikel
that's when
Arteta
Odegaard
actually
took the camera,
pivoting in
right?
game.
That's when Odegaard took the picture of the crowd.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
the
yeah,
camera
yeah,
or
yeah.
something. That was at Emirates in like January. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but
so-
Joe, it's not about winning there. It's about
No,
intent.
Was it at the
It's
Emirates?
about intent,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my
well,
thing
yeah.
with it. If they showed the intent to win, that's different. Even if you lose with the
will
intent to
call us
win,
naive,
that's
to be
different.
fair,
Because
though.
my biggest bugbear about Arteta is he would happily go out to take a draw make sure he doesn't lose, then try to win at the risk of losing. That's
Yep.
the big issue. with
And
this.
that's where in
Here's
game
what-
that second half is where it was needed.
Here's what I think is the difference between the two teams. I think Liverpool are light at the back, but I still think Arsenal are still light in attack. Because if anything happens to Gyökeres, they really haven't got another replacement for him.
Marino through the middle.
You got Marino through the middle, you got
Guys not
Havertz
fit.
through the middle, and they're the guys that all Arsenal fans keep saying are not the guys to go and win you league titles. Where Liverpool
Jamie,
have
if
now
you
got
lose Van
they could
Dijk,
take. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We're like the same,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
in
we're
different areas
the
of the
opposite.
pitch. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the opposite. You know, like a lot of people since the start of the season have said Liverpool's way of playing it's not sustainable. Yeah, it won't get you a league title. You could argue the way Arsenal's way you're playing is not sustainable either, because when you defend like that in games sometimes, and it's very hard to change your mindset into make yourself an attacking team all of a sudden, and you can drop points like that by drawing games. So I think Liverpool and Arsenal are very similar in their
You
ways,
just need to
but
create more, man.
they play different. Their styles are completely different, and it's what you enjoy more. I mean, Arsenal got a
Jamie,
very
I
good
don't
squad,
think
man.
that's the big difference. I think the big difference is the mentality. Your mentality is to win. You've just won. You've got that, in your
Oh, we
back
got winners
pocket.
all over the pitch. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking in terms of a title. I'm talking in terms of a title. The mentality is there. We have seen it for the last 5-6 years of Arsenal. The mentality's not there. Who drives mentality in a club or in a team? It's the manager. This all boils down to Arteta. We're like having a long conversation here, and I don't think anyone outside of Joe is saying the blame doesn't lie with Arteta.
Well,
Do you know
Well,
what?
the
Phil?
Arsenal
I'll let
fans
you
are
know.
your
If
opinion, Joe.
Arteta, if
Your
Arteta leaves Arsenal, I hope he goes to Leeds, Joe, because you
Well,
absolutely love him.
I
Dan, I
would
like
take
you.
him. Bro, I
Dan,
would
I like-
take him. The thing is,
Dan,
if he leaves Arsenal, he walks into a top
He's
job.
a good gaffer. He just
No, he
needs to become
doesn't.
a winning gaffer now, man.
Yes, he does. I tell you what, Forrest and Marinakis would take him like that. I do. I'm telling you that for a fact.
I'd be Marinakis out if he took him. How about that?
Dan, I ask you, if Arne Slot had Arsenal's squad, would Arne Slot lined up Arsenal like?
No, but it's different.
yeah,
strokes,
like
different
No, but
throats,
that's
different
that's
managers.
what
Never.
I'm asking. That's
No,
what I'm
yeah,
asking.
no,
mentality
they're
difference.
different managers,
Jamie,
right?
no
When
one-
it's- I think we live in a generation now. In 2025, the way football is now more about attacking than it ever has been. Right? You look at the best teams in the world; they're mostly attack-minded football teams that get themselves over the line. Yeah, they concede chances. They play extremely risky football. Sometimes it doesn't work for them, but they take that risk to go and get 3 points in every
And that's
single
something
game they play.
Arteta needs to add to.
Is that
his
something
game.
Arteta? Is that the only thing Arteta's missing? Is that risk?
That's the only
sometimes?
glaringly obvious thing. If you want to
That's
talk
not
about
an
rotation
only.
and that, yeah, but he doesn't pivot.
no,
That
his-
second
that's
half
big.
against Liverpool
That's
shows
big.
it.
His in-game management is another.
But that's the point. That I think if he was more
Exactly.
risk averse, his in-game management would be
It's
better.
probably
Because
as
he
well.
make better subs, and he'd probably be more willing to make earlier substitutions. He makes late substitutions. The majority of the times when he makes them, they're too like for like, or they're too defensive.
But I don't
And
think
George,
that.
they feel predefined.
I don't think
Like that
that's what it's
70
about,
minute stuff was predefined.
Yeah. He
He doesn't
predefined.
feel the game. He doesn't feel the game
Oh,
like
a
we
bit
got a bit of
opposite now,
momentum
Gaffer,
here.
man.
Let's tweak it and just
I don't
push on
think
forward.
he's risk averse though. I don't think his in-game management is poor because he's risk averse.
Yeah, but Hooks, this risk averse thing, right? No one can answer me this question, right? If you're risk averse and you're like, I don't really want to give it a go because actually we might get caught. Two things to that. One,
Ain't that a risk in
it's
itself?
frustrating. Two, is a risk itself. But two, well, the other reason it's frustrating is he is stacked at the back. I think everyone would agree Arsenal got the best defense in the league. So
Yeah.
you've got a good defense. Go and have a go at them. The other thing I don't get is if you don't want to be risk averse up top, why are you giving David Raya the ball to dick around with it and pass it to the strikers? That's much more risk averse than actually going and having a go at it. So I think there's just so many contradictions for me. And I look at him and I just think, how can you go to Anfield and have zero effort in trying to win the game? And people that say, yeah, we did try and win the game. We had one shot on target, man. That was Noni Madueke, who, by the way, looked our best attacker, which is a problem in itself.